Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well, and in today's video I'm going to be presenting to you a guide for Messmer the Impaler. Messmer has been an extremely anticipated boss fight in the Elden Ring expansion Shadow of the Erdtree, and this guide is aimed to help anybody that might need a nudge in the right direction so that they can better parse the fight as it's ongoing. The main things we'll be tackling is specific dodging patterns for the more difficult attacks in the fight, and afterwards providing a general overview of the remaining ones. But before we begin, we should mention that Messmer is weak to magic and lightning. As such, it's preferable that you bring with you any magic-infused weapons or intelligent spells, or lightning-infused weapons and lightning incantations. Naturally, he will be most resistant to fire, so if possible, avoid that. To begin with, we should start with Messmer's signature move. This attack is unlocked once he reaches around 75% HP. It consists of him imbuing his spear with Messmer Flame and doing 2 successive whirls mid-air to gain altitude, followed by a giant sweep that spread Messmer Flame around the entire arena, sweep which propels him forward behind you, position from which he will repeatedly thrust his spear to cover massive distance. Once this flurry is over, he will perform a mid-air somersault and end with a slam and the soon after large AoE. This attack has 3 distinct segments and we should approach them individually. The initial part, him gaining altitude, does not have any hitbox. The only thing you should worry about is the giant sweep that spreads Messmer Flame. If you were very close to Messmer when he started this attack, you will blind spot the sweep entirely by just standing still. Do not roll backwards or forwards. You will get roll caught by the Messmer Flame particles. Now if you were at a distance when you started this move, you only need to roll once through his sweep and that will place you in a safe spot. Whichever of these two you had to employ now comes to the second part of the attack, the thrusting flurry. There are 2 different approaches to dodging this depending on what you are more comfortable with. You can outspace the first thrusts of flurry by running away from Messmer immediately after the giant sweep, and then you'll only have to roll the final thrust. Alternatively, once Messmer finishes his giant sweep, if your camera is unlocked you can sprint straight at where Messmer will be and do 1 roll under him while he does the flurry. Both of these methods work, but the former is much more preferable if you prefer playing locked on. Once you have dodged the second part of the flurry, Messmer will linger in the air for a bit before slamming his spear onto the ground and creating a fire pool underneath him. Don't be deceived, the initial impact only has a hitbox in a very small area in front of him. So walking under him and behind before he completely finishes it completely neutralizes this segment. Once he's landed, you can just count to 2 and then roll and you will iframe the large AoE. The next tricky attack of the fight is his flame-imbued melee combo. This particular sequence can happen out of a multitude of circumstances, such as from a neutral idol as Messmer does nothing and you approach him, from his double swipe frame trap attack, or attached as a combo ender. The general rule here is that he will perform an uppercut which will fling Messmer Flame all over the left side of your screen. Roll diagonally to your right if you don't want to get roll caught by it. Afterwards, he will immediately perform a large horizontal swing that will fling more Messmer Flame in a fan-shaped pattern in front of him. Roll through this right after the uppercut. Do not hesitate, the follow-up happens very fast. At this point, he can either do a second giant horizontal swipe or go straight into the second uppercut which will propel him into the air, only to come down afterwards and thrust his spear into the ground in a small explosion. The next attack we should look at in phase 1 is also the bread and butter of the fight. It's the delayed horizontal swipe into an uppercut. You want to not panic and roll the horizontal swing after a short delay to your left, putting you slightly behind him. Once you have done that, you can simply walk around him and you will strafe the uppercut follow-up. Doing that will also place you right behind him, which forces him into one of 2 options. Either side hopping and resetting the fight, or his common Messmer Flame claw attack followed by an imbued thrust. In case of the latter, merely roll both away from him and bait the double thrust follow-up which you can roll in on. Doing this will also guarantee the delayed thrust combo ender. Dodging that delayed thrust also places you right behind him, which will force him into either doing a delayed horizontal again or side hopping to reset the fight. There is one other oppressive attack in phase 1, but it becomes much more relevant once he reaches phase 2. It's the fire-air spin combo. To dodge this, you must roll once through his spin as he's approaching you, and then once away from him as he's landing. This will allow you to outspace the uppercut follow-up, and then you'll have to roll the slam afterwards. This attack becomes a frequent combo ender in phase 2 after a specific stake attack. Now this attack consists of Messmer turning into a snake and performing a single powerful bite that propels him across the arena. Once he reaches his destination, he will either perform the fire air spin combo as a combo ender or the basic spear lunge. Another important thing to mention regarding phase 2 is that all of the snakes can be attacked and count as weak spots. One other common snake attack in phase 2 is his snake triple bite attack. This attack is pretty straightforward to dodge and offers a giant punish window. Because of the way the attack works, if you wield the weapon long enough when you punish it, you can hit both the snake and Messmer inside of its mouth. The last basic phase 2 snake attack we should talk about before the giant snake flurry is the pool snake. Messmer will turn into a snake and disappear only for soon after a giant puddle to appear on the floor underneath you. Clear this area as soon as possible as Messmer will re-emerge from it as a snake. If you are on top when he comes out, you will get staggered and thrown off so that the actual snake bite will connect. Otherwise, if you've managed to clear the area before the snake emerges, the bite is very easy to roll through. And for the closing segment, we should talk about Messmer's giant snake flurry. At around 25% HP, Messmer can start channeling his energy and creating a massive burst that spawns multiple large snakes around him that will attack in succession. As soon as you see him start this attack, get away. The first two snakes will attack together so you can roll both at once, and after that you will have to wait a bit as the third snake will delay his ground bite to roll catch you if you spam rolling. Once that is done, roll to either side the fourth snake again after a short delay, and the fifth snake will hit right after. Once all the snakes have performed their script, Messmer will emerge out of the clump of snakes either to perform the last part of his signature move or a giant snake with his orb in its mouth, which will create a medium-sized explosion. Now if you follow the instructions in this guide, you should be able to memorize Messmer's attack and probably be able to fight him and probably finish the fight without getting hit from any of these attacks. It's going to need practice of course, but this video should have a very comprehensive guide onto the things, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you want more tutorials like this, please let me know, tell me your feedback, what you think, what you like and you don't like, and yeah, thank you for watching and I'll be seeing you later. Bye bye.